Welcome, everybody. My name is Arjun Roy, producer, recordist, mix engineer, coming at you from Grande Prairie, Alberta, my hometown. We are recording at Better Than Fred's, epic venue, epic bar, and purveyor of fine barbecue. This is episode 10 in a series of unedited conversations that I'm calling The Hometown Hustle. This deals with my artistic journey through the arts and music scene, the Peace Country, and all the people who helped me get where I am today. On this episode, we have a twofer. We've got in the house, coming at you, Cody Perrotta and Carl Krause. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
So, how goes it?
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
This whole thing is interesting because, for some reason, I was compelled to do this. I couldn't tell you why I do this. It's not like we're just talking about the Joe Rogan thing. I don't have like a million viewers who are just eagerly anticipating the thing. Yeah. But it feels good to do it. I think the things that we did in the early now as well, but in the early to mid 2000s was pretty awesome. The scene was special, and after this long, aside from just missing it and just thinking, that was great.
Yeah.
It's interesting just talking about everything that we all did. The amount of sort of hustle that we all had to make our bands happen. But before we get into the band stuff, let's learn about you guys. Because when I moved here, it was in the year 2000, and I just kind of happened into the scene. And then I was in bands, and then I kind of met everybody, right? But did you guys both grow up here?
Yeah.
Born, raised? Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Very rare.
Yeah.
boys.
Absolutely. OG, man. Original.
Matt was born here too, right?
Tumbler Ridge.
Oh, Tumblr. Okay.
Moved here when he was 6 or 7. I think. He's pretty much been here his whole life.
Did you guys know Matt since then? Since you guys were kids and stuff? Or
no, we all met
High school.
in high school, probably grade 12, I think.
Cool.
Just grade 12.
Where'd you guys go to school?
Composite High.
St. Joe's.
Oh, okay.
Catholic School.
Got it. Interesting.
Yeah.
What were you?
Why is that interesting?
I don't know. The whole thing's interesting.
Yeah, the first time we met
I'm a
was
good
at
boy.
the Battle of the Bands, right?
Yeah, it was. It was a grade 12.
Yeah, we were-
It was a comp. battle of bands.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was at the comp, and then his band, whatever the heck you guys were called,
Well, it was Spectrum still, but we didn't have a name.
Oh,
for it, really.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
they came and played, and that's how we met.
Yep.
'Cause Cody was just like, "Oh my God, who's that drummer?"
Of
He's
course.
so hot.
That's right. Amazing.
I forgot to put my sunglasses on.
You got time. Do it right now.
Well, now it's ruined. The joke's ruined.
It's okay. Man, do whatever you
I
want.
still got a nice new pair of sunglasses out of the
There you
deal,
go.
though, so it's not a total loss.
Exactly. Dude, chalk it up as a win. And the thing is, you could put the sunglasses on at any point during this conversation.
Okay.
Because now it'll be removed from this.
Yeah,
this
every time my joke doesn't go well, the glasses are gonna go on. That's the cue to just edit it.
Exactly. That's right. Has to go on just let's do one of these.
Power
I'm just
naps.
kidding. Yeah. That's right. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, we met at Battle of the Bands.
'Kay.
And I started Spectrum when I was in grade 6.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
With just random people
Yeah.
that I would just convince to buy instruments.
Yeah.
Basically.
Awesome. Were you always a guitarist?
Yeah, well, I played drums a lot, but it's not like my main instrument. I love playing drums. I've always wanted to be a drummer in a band, but it hasn't happened for some reason. I don't know why. Probably because I don't own a drum kit, I'm guessing. But
Your dad was a drummer.
my
right?
dad's a drummer, yeah. And I grew up with a drum kit in my room.
Okay.
So I've always been able to play them without
Yeah.
really having to try, learn too hard on it. I just kind of naturally played a bit.
Cool.
Obviously, not to the greatest, but I can get by, right? So
That's awesome. Did you guys both grow up in musical families? Was music kind of all around performance and?
Very much so.
Yep.
Yeah.
How so? What do you guys
Just
do?
almost like communism. It was
communism. This is taking a weird turn.
Please go on. Absolutely.
It was sort of forced, right? So
Okay, now I get it.
it was very forced. It was just if you lived with my parents, you were playing music.
Oh, okay.
It either had to be piano, violin, clarinet, singing, just something, right? So I always bugged them. It's just I want to play drums, and they're just no.
We want you to play a real instrument.
Oh, okay, like a band instrument or whatever.
I played a pile of stuff before
Okay.
I finally went and bought my first drum kit, and then hauled it into the house. My parents were none too pleased, but
I feel like drums, a drum set is one of those things that, parents who have kids who get into music, I think that's the last thing they want to see show up.
Yeah, and only the most supportive of parents are going to be like, "Great job," as the TV's max volume.
Of course, because you know, like you take the drum set into your room, and then you're like, I'm going to close the
there's no
door
making it
so I don't
quiet.
bug anybody. Exactly,
Yeah.
but that does nothing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you guys both have siblings, or are you only
I
children?
have a brother,
You got a brother,
Yeah,
older or
older.
younger?
older.
Older. What does he do?
He's does IT work for a government building. He
Okay.
lives in Edmonton. Yeah.
Got it.
Really, he doesn't play any instruments,
Yep.
but is very musically inclined. Like
He was very-
he likes really tasteful music. Like he got me into music, but,
Influential
but he's
on your
like
taste, right?
more metal, heavy metal, death
Okay.
metal, that kind of thing. Actually,
Yeah.
he's funny though because he's the reason why I started playing guitar because I'd
what
always
you're saying.
copy everything he did. So he got a guitar when he was younger.
Yep.
So I wanted one. He never played it. But I did end up
Yeah.
picking it up, right? Because he showed me Nirvana. Nirvana's what got me into the whole.
Of course.
I was like 8. It changed my life, basically. But
That's amazing.
yeah.
What record by Nirvana?
So the very first song, I'll never forget this, actually. I was in my mom's Ford Windstar, which is a minivan. And we're driving. And there was a cassette tape he put in. And it was obviously it just starts wherever you put it in. 'Cause it's a cassette tape. And it was In Bloom. It was the very first song I ever heard in my life by Nirvana. And I was like 8. On the way to
Cool.
IGA, and I was like, "What is this?" And
Yeah.
I never heard it before, but it was Nirvana. I was just like, "Can I borrow this tape?" And I just like wore that tape out like
Yeah.
3 months straight. And
That's
then I was like,
amazing.
"Wait a minute, there's more tapes?" Yeah. So then I discovered Bleach and In Utero and all that stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's an interesting age to be grabbed by music
Yeah, I was young.
in
My
that
mom was
way.
a little concerned. She's
Okay.
like, "This 8-year-old likes Kurt Cobain."
Right. Fair enough.
But I mean, whatever. Like,
Could be worse.
I was, it's influenced by the positives from him, right?
Of
Not the
course.
negatives.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing about music and art in general. You know, it's like there's art and then there's the artist. And sometimes,
Exactly.
there has to be separation.
Exactly.
Maybe you don't like the artist for some reason, like personally or whatever it is. But you can't deny the art, though.
No, and a lot of times art is a little,
Yeah. That's
dark.
just it, man.
Art is dark. Like,
It
it
is.
can be, or whatever. It's what you want it to be, but
Yeah.
it should make you feel something. And if it doesn't, then it's not doing its job, right?
100%. 100%. Siblings, musical family.
Yeah, older brother and sister.
Okay.
So I'm the youngest of 3.
Okay.
Sister was like grandmaster pianist,
Hmm.
right? Like she would wail. And,
Yep.
older brother Barry was more guitar,
Hmm.
kind of, right? Like I didn't really grow up too much with my older brother because we moved to Winnipeg and he decided to stay there.
Okay.
So I he was gone at a very early age for me anyway. But he always liked to sit down with the acoustic and play a lot. And my dad was always a singer and tried other things and stuff like that. But my parents always sang in like choirs and stuff like
Okay.
the singing Christmas tree at the church and stuff like that
Yeah.
too, right? So I got involved pretty young, but
Yeah.
I started on piano, worked my way up to
Right.
voice, joined band class, jazz band, jazz choir, concert chorale. Like
Wow.
pretty much everything I could get my hands on, right?
That's amazing.
And yeah, played drums in church and then moved
Okay.
to guitar and bass and
Yep.
kind of figured it all out.
That's really cool. Now, did your parents sort of appreciate music and the arts, and that's why they wanted all of you to get into, like to have an instrument, or were they involved in music in some way, or?
I feel like their thoughts was it was cheaper than hockey.
And it
That's true.
demonstrates discipline.
Yeah, I always
Got it.
like, hated the fact that like my parents would never let me play hockey. Right? It was just like, why not? And they're just like,
Sure.
Well, it's time consuming for one.
yeah,
Absolutely.
They're just like, well, you have a recital coming up, so you can't play hockey because you need to play piano.
Yeah.
But they didn't want me getting hurt, and it was
Sure.
expensive. And
Yeah.
Chicks don't like hockey players; they like piano players.
yeah,
That's right.
Said
Like
nobody
rock
ever.
stars. Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
right. You trust me.
it did benefit me in that way for sure. Yeah, but
That's amazing. I'm trying to think. I feel like I saw the stats on this thing, and there are like people watching this or listening to it from elsewhere in the world. So for anybody who doesn't know, like getting into hockey at, I don't know, when do people start hockey? Like Pee Wee or something?
very young.
4 or 5.
Well, yeah. It's like a massive time commitment.
It is.
It's expensive because you need a lot of equipment, and I mean, as soon as you start to get into it, you have practices before school,
Tournaments,
after
You need
school.
free
Yeah.
time, especially as a parent.
Totally.
So I mean,
It's time consuming.
I don't blame my parents
Yeah.
for it. Like I see now as a parent myself, like
Right.
I'm like, yeah, maybe that does suck.
Yeah.
Kudos to those parents though
Yeah,
for doing
yeah.
it and
As much as I love-
putting in the time to do.
That's just
I
it.
love the sport. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy growing up for sure.
Well, certainly. Lakshmi is going to be 9 right away, and so like a bunch of her friends are either getting into hockey or like a lot of them have older siblings who
Yeah.
play hockey, right? And so trying to schedule play dates and stuff, with them is just one of those things where it's like they kind of check their calendar or their phone or something, and they're like, okay, we're away for a tournament that weekend, and the next weekend you guys are away, but then we're back, and then the following weekend we're out like for 4 days for a tournament.
Yeah,
Like
it's a whole thing.
it's a whole thing, absolutely. But so it goes. Okay, so that was the thing. That makes sense.
Yeah, tons of music growing up.
Yeah. What were some artists or kinds of music that grabbed you when you were young? Like not like, things that you were playing, although it could be something that you were playing as part of your lessons and stuff, but like with the Nirvana tape, like what was that kind of a moment for you?
I'm trying to recall the first memory I had, but I think it was probably like one of my brother's tapes or CDs or something, right? Like, I remember stealing his Green Day album as a kid.
Dookie?
Yeah.
Classic.
Well, on cassette
Yeah.
with like a Walkman, right? So like,
Awesome.
and I listened to it while I was delivering papers
loved it.
nonstop. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, these guys are great.
Yep.
But the first thing I remember, like, the thing that made me want to be like, a rock star per se, right? Like a drummer was, I caught a gig at the Compass downtown. Rocksmith Tabla.
Okay. Yeah.
Cade Henderson, Curtis Schultz, Anders, and actually Shane. I can't remember his last name.
Seaward?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shane jumped in on a song
Cool.
for one of theirs, but I was like, I was a little kid, right? So like
Yeah.
Curtis was like an older brother to me, so he
Okay.
dragged me to his gig, and I was like, this is awesome. It was packed, it was sweaty, it was
Yeah.
loud. Like they covered a Finger 11 song,
Oh,
actually,
cool.
which Shane
Yep.
sang, Drag You Down. Yeah, and then like after I saw that gig, I was just like, that's what I want to do. I want to do that too.
Yeah.
Like, that's super cool.
Were you drawn to the live energy, or was it like the entire spectacle of the whole thing?
They were awesome. Like,
Of course.
I would just remember, like the energy in the room and like the feel, and like I was just like, this is wicked, and people were just like loving it, right? Like they were all over it.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is a really cool feeling.
Yeah.
I really like this.
One thing that's come up, there are a couple of things that have come up in, I feel like every single episode prior to this one, and that's like the scene surrounding the Compass. So for me, I moved here in the year 2000. I dropped out of school and then out of university or out of the GPRC, and then decided to like get into music as much as I could. I taught lessons, then I just started like meeting people and jamming and that kind of thing. And so my entry into it was like maybe like open mics at Howlers or elsewhere in town,
Absolutely, yeah.
and then
The Gaiety.
Yeah, exactly.
The Gaiety was always
yeah,
big with the popcorn and everything.
yeah, that's just it.
I don't know if I ever experienced that.
The Gaiety?
The
No,
Gaiety?
no.
Man, it was
We did Howlers lots.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I never did play at the Gaiety, which
Okay.
is unfortunate. But
Yeah.
so when the first, like Elijah's Tomb, remember Elijah's Tomb?
Exactly.
I'd go watch them when I was like 16, right? And just be
Right.
like, this guy's awesome. Look at his
Boy
hair.
Charlie.
Totally, yeah. All those bands, man. And so for everyone who I talked to who either grew up here or got into music here, like some years before that, everyone talked about the Compass and then the C Spot, I guess.
Yeah.
And so that's like a running
Compass was-
theme, man. Were you into the scene as well? Like, were you at the Compass as well? Like, did you?
Never played or
Okay.
anything.
Yep.
I was much younger than. I think the very first show I played was at the Decoy Armories when I was like
Got it.
15 or 16. I think.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Those were always fun gigs.
Yeah.
Decoy.
All
Absolutely.
Nirvana set. It's funny. I started out as a Nirvana cover band because I was too nervous to show people my music. So I was like, let's just play all Nirvana.
I mean, which makes sense. I mean, that's what we all do. I feel like.
Yeah.
Were you hanging out at the Compass before then?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So Rocksmith with Shane Seward on vocals, which sounds incredible. I mean, another thing that's come up is that Rocksmith is such an
he
awesome
did kind
band.
of
They
a
were
cameo, right? And I was just like, man, that guy's got pipes. But
Yeah.
like, Cade was just phenomenal,
Well,
right?
that's
Like,
just it. Yeah.
he's the biggest dork when it comes to anything, right? Like he's so smart and
Yeah.
puts 100% of all of his energy into everything,
Yeah.
right? So like
Yeah.
when he does something, it's just like all or nothing, right?
Yeah.
And it's just he was a genius about it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, like they nailed it. They were so good.
They did, and they were. Rocksmith played one of the first shows I saw at Howlers. I don't remember what the nature of the show was, but I feel like it was Rocksmith and a couple of other bands from the area. I don't know if it was a band coming in from elsewhere or something, but I remember seeing them show up, and you know, they're all just like regular dudes. You know what I mean? Like they're just cool, cool peeps, and they showed up and they set up. But then once they started playing, I mean, the sound was huge.
Yeah.
That's what struck me about that band specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, great tone. Like the drum sound was always good. Vocals were good. The parts were good. Anders was a killing bass player.
Yeah. Curtis was the big brother, right? Took me under his wing.
Yeah.
Pretty much taught me how to rock. Right. Like
Yeah.
I remember sitting in his basement all the time listening to Grayest of Blue Skies, Finger 11.
Yeah.
And he was just like, turn it down. My parents will hear, man. So good.
That's awesome. How did you and Curtis meet though?
Church.
Okay.
Probably. I mean, good family friends and,
Right.
and stuff like that. Like our parents knew each other very well, right? So anytime my parents would go to town, I'd end up staying at his place. And
Okay.
we'd get into all sorts of trouble. And
Sure.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I've
Interesting.
known him since I was tiny.
Yeah.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah.
And then the Compass, and then the Rock. Tell me about early bands. You were just talking about a Nirvana cover band.
Yeah, I mean, Spectrum was the first band I ever started.
Got it.
And then it just went through, members. I think I had probably 7 drummers before Carl.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
like,
Okay.
Yeah.
And I started. Yeah, I mean, it was grade 6 for sure, and didn't really play any gigs, but just kind of started writing at a really early age. I was writing.
Absolutely.
As soon as I started playing guitar, basically I started writing because I was like learned the basics, and I was like, I'll figure the rest out on my own kind of thing. Like I don't want to be too structured.
Yep.
I wanted to just know the basics and just kind of do my own thing with it.
Yep.
And
Your silly little sketchbook.
I got tons of journals.
weirdest stuff in there.
I
Cool.
have journals and journals when I've always kept journals growing up, which
That's
is
great.
a little weird, but like I don't know. Now that I'm like, we just moved into our new house, and now it's like I'm just lugging around these journals.
Okay.
I probably should throw them all, but it's like I'm attached to them.
Well, of course.
It's a big part of your history.
Yeah, it's
It
funny.
is.
I actually went through them a couple weeks ago and just was like relearning songs I wrote at like age 10. And I was like, this is so weird. Like,
I can't imagine what that's like to, again, like, it's you at the age of 10.
yeah,
You're
like
what was I
just
writing?
so,
Like, yeah.
adolescent. Like, I'm so
Sure.
different now as a songwriter,
Yeah.
but it's fun to just do that, just to kind of like remember where you started.
Absolutely.
Do you remember recording Purple Sucks?
Yeah.
In
What's Purple Sucks?
It's
Justin
a song, and it
basement.
sucks. So
Oh.
Purple Sucks. Just the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Like, just so stupid, but so much fun. Pretty sure Staffen got a good kick out of that.
How old were you guys when you was recording that? Purpose? Was that like a super early
that was like
thing?
we
or?
That was fresh
we
out of
started
high
a
school.
band like literally the minute we started jamming.
Yep.
Like I think we were in the studio like a month or two later.
Oh, cool.
Like, weren't we? It wasn't long.
Yeah, it was quick.
It was quick.
Because we
And it shows because I
We
mean the
met.
songs aren't the greatest.
and then me and you played a show at Howlers together.
Without
just me and you.
yeah, we had
And
no
then
bass
Cody's
player.
just like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
by the way, we're
Classic.
looking for a bass player.
Yeah,
At the gig?
at the gig, yeah.
Matt's like standing over
Matt was in the
he's just
crowd, and he's like,
"I'll
I play bass.
No way. That's fantastic.
It's the most
Oh my gosh.
awkward thing ever.
Yeah.
But like,
But it worked really good.
Yeah,
Matt's
okay.
a solid bass player.
And then he was your bassist.
Yeah.
I mean, my awareness of you guys and Spectrum was always with Matt on bass. I don't know when that would have been.
No,
early
we
2000s,
played.
but yeah.
I don't know. It might have been 2, or it was just the one show where there was no bass player.
Yeah.
And on a side note,
Yeah.
the very first drummer of Spectrum was actually my dad.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Man, I'm getting like a wonderful like sense of parental support in all of this. That's so cool.
And then, so we had this thing where he's like, well, I wanted to play a show, but he's like, well, you can just throw a sheet over me or something when you play.
A sheet over you?
I was like,
just put a brown bag on his
Right.
head.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh.
like that would work if it was a Halloween gig. We'd be like, he's a ghost,
That's right. That's right. Like very ahead of your time with that
Yeah.
that whole thing. That's incredible. What show? What
It was
what was that gig
Howlers.
like?
It was
That
Howlers.
Howlers.
It was
okay.
Howlers, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
That was back
incredible.
when it was actually like a bar.
It was bumping then.
Yeah.
Howlers was back in the day. It was
Like 2000, 2001, 2, something like that?
yeah,
or before?
Probably 04.
Oh, okay.
04,
Got it.
05,
Got it.
something like that.
Yeah, that
Got
place used to be busy.
It
Like all the time.
What was that? There was actually a big band that rolled through there too. What's the name of them? Social something. Remember that?
Social code?
Social Code.
Remember the Social Code?
Yes, of course.
And it was like the
Oh my
biggest deal
gosh.
ever. It's like, oh, Social Code's coming to Howlers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Howlers had like 2 or 3 big like parties
They
throughout
did.
the year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one in the fall, one Halloween
Yeah.
thing, and something in the summertime. Maybe one at the end of the school year.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I ended up
A bunch of
managing
these
Howlers,
things.
like
Oh, no way.
the bar for,
Okay.
for a year. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
It was
Yeah.
actually pretty fun. But I mean, yeah, it was not the same, right?
No,
Like,
for sure, man. I mean, at the time, I remember like so. Social Code came through. Do you guys remember the Salads?
Sounds
They,
really
they were
familiar.
like I don't know. They're like a rock ska band that were
Salads.
huge.
Yeah.
in-
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Crowned King.
I remember them. Yeah.
Crown King, they
Yeah.
came through Howlers. Do you remember the Spill Canvas?
I don't remember them.
The Spill Canvas is a band that sounds kind of like I'm like forgetting. I'm like blanking all these names all of a sudden. Who does Ohio is for Lovers? Who's that band? The emo band. They're huge. I'm gonna feel like a moron for not remembering this.
I do have Google.
I'm not up to date on my emo music.
I'm
I'll
gonna
be
do this right
honest.
now. I can't. And, as soon as I say this, it'll be like
Like My
like
Chemical Romance or something.
it was one of those bands,
Yeah,
man.
I recognize the song. like,
That kind of exactly.
The name of the song, but I don't remember who sings it.
Actually, The Used was actually a pretty good
Hawthorne Heights is who did Ohio's for Lovers, right? So the Spill Canvas was a band that sounded like that. Later, they would become huge, but I remember seeing a show at Howlers. I don't know if like a local band opened for them or something, but there were a couple of bands on the bill, and that was my first experience of like seeing like a real pro band
Okay,
up close.
Yeah.
They weren't huge, but they were like it was like a tight touring operation. But sorry, this just goes into what you were saying about Howlers being bumping at the time. They had some big bands come through, some
Yeah.
huge shows.
Yeah, it was fun.
And I remember it was always packed.
Yeah.
Like open mic nights were packed.
Yeah.
All these parties were packed.
Even like recent, like when Menzies was doing open mic at
Okay.
Howlers, Justin Menzies, which was what, like 4 years ago or something. It was he had that place busy.
Cool.
It was a big event going
Okay.
on, right? So it was still pretty fun, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I feel like 4 years ago I hadn't come back to town.
It was
yet,
4 or
so-
5 years. Like,
Okay.
I don't know exactly, but
Awesome. Cool.
and BJ's, remember BJ's?
Of course. How can you forget?
I was thinking about BJ's.
That
Yeah.
place,
What a-
that
what a
place had great
place.
shows. We actually played with Matt Mays there.
No
And it was one of the best
way.
shows ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love Matt
We
Mays.
played a lot of shows there actually. Yeah, before.
We did. The guys there loved us. What was
Yeah.
it, Curtis?
Curtis. Yeah, from what's the name of his band? Something.
Oh,
Damn.
Grambo.
I can't remember.
Curtis Graham was his name. I can't remember the name of the band.
Damn Plastards?
No.
No. Who else was a damn band? I don't know.
Something about a dog and his damn dogs.
The damn dogs. Yeah, it's gotta be it.
Yeah, but they played there all the time with a Buck 5 band.
Oh, 12 gauge?
sure.
12 gauge. I remember those
Remember
guys.
12, yeah.
Buck 5, of course.
The place was always pretty busy.
No, it was good.
really
It was a
cool
great
bar.
venue
Yep,
too, and they
it was.
they treated you good, and they paid you good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And
Byron was
again,
always the best.
I was going to say, Byron was,
Good man.
excuse me, an old school guy,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
old school, like a tough person to, not tough person to deal with, but he was a person who didn't suffer any fools. I
he
think
didn't,
that's,
he didn't put up with any
yeah,
bullshit.
exactly. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that in people. It's just a very like straight up way to exist.
Absolutely.
If he didn't like you or your band, he would let you know.
Tell you, tell you right to your face.
You
Which is
just
great.
go unplug the mixer. Right?
I heard that so many times. Like people, I think for me specifically, I just mean about like me playing in No One's Alone, playing at BJ's.
Yeah.
And we played rock music that I guess worked with what they were doing. It wasn't like super heavy. It wasn't anything other than just rock music that could like exist in bars. And so people always told me when I said like, oh man, we just got a show at BJ's, like be prepared to, for Byron to like pull the power on you guys.
Yeah,
and
he's
cut
done
you
that.
off.
Yeah.
Luckily, it didn't happen to us, but
you go.
he has done that.
So I hear that's incredible.
And at that moment, since when I put the glasses on, right? When the
Boom, that's
power
it.
gets cut.
Exactly. That was a fun venue, man.
It was, yeah, it was great. And it's funny because
Yep.
for some reason people had this like vision or whatever you want to call it that the place was a country bar. Like I don't know, I got this. It was weird. Everybody I talked to was always like, "Oh, you playing at beaches or country.
Yeah.
But it's not. It was a total rock bar.
Absolutely.
But for some
A
reason,
lot of everything.
public thought it was
A lot of everything. Yeah. I mean, we played, again, speaking of No One's Alone stuff, like we opened for rock bands. We opened for like a couple of rockabilly bands that were on tour. We opened for like some Guns N' Roses sounding bands. You know, like there was a lot of that going on. But it was I missed that. It's a dear place. I mean, it's fitting that like.
I mean, now, you know,
yeah.
like nothing better could have went in there. I don't think like now that it's a music store, okay, like
Totally.
that's okay.
It's got some history.
It does,
Yeah.
for real. That was a good time. So you guys graduate high school and you hit the studio. So I feel like one thing that's really interesting talking to both of you is that a lot of times people who get into music, it takes them a long time to like feel compelled to write original material. But you were already doing that. Like you were.
I don't. It's kind of weird. Like even back then, I did a lot of covers. But once like and like even in Spectrum, we'd throw
Yeah,
the
of
odd
course.
cover in
Yep.
our set.
Yep.
But I've always wrote music.
Yeah.
It's why I play music.
Yeah.
I have to, right? Like if
Got
I'm
it.
not writing music, I'm really hard to communicate with.
Sure.
Like and I don't realize I'm doing it. My wife does
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. For sure.
So like I forget, like, you know, I just become basically like blank and I'm,
Yeah.
you know, and then I go write and I'm fine, right?
Yeah.
It's like kind of like therapy for me. Like I have
Yeah.
to do it, even if I'm not in a band.
Yeah.
I have tons of acoustic stuff that I'll never show a band, but
Yeah.
I'm always writing, right?
Yeah.
So it's just something I have to do.
Have you? Can you like put a finger on why you're compelled to write? Is it like just an expression
It's
thing?
totally, yeah. Like I have, it's just like it's something I have to do. And
Yeah,
then
outlet.
I recently
Yeah.
found out too that like my grandma, who when she lived in Italy, she wrote all the music for their church and all the hymns and
Cool.
stuff. And she was a big songwriter. I
Yeah.
had no idea. Like
Yep.
I didn't have, you know, she didn't really speak English very well, so I didn't have too strong a relationship with my grandparents. But now it kind of makes sense. Like, oh, okay, like it kind of runs in the family, I guess, so
Absolutely.
to speak. So.
It was always kind of funny jamming with Cody in the garage because like you would just put a microphone in front of him and we would write a riff and then just whatever came to the top of his head would just pour out.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, I never
It was-
read
You could either just be the most
it.
ridiculous thing in the world or
Yeah.
like actually something pretty powerful,
Yeah.
meaningful, right? But we spent so much time laughing. Just
Sure.
the stuff that came out of his
Yeah.
mouth, like
That's really cool.
Yeah.
oh god, and just like just no filter. Just blah, 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 blah.
Well,
Just
it's
like
funny-
how do you do
That's
that?
great. Absolutely.
Well, it's funny too because
Yeah.
when we did our another recording with Nathaniel
Yep.
out at his studio,
Okay.
literally I was like, well, geez, we're recording these songs. Like I better write lyrics. So I was like, Carl, can you drive? And so Carl had to drive so I could write the lyrics on the
Oh,
way out.
wow.
So I wrote the lyrics to 5
The bumpy
songs.
gravel road, hey, and he's just like,
amazing.
yeah.
That
Crushing
is too
beers the
cool.
whole
But I
way
swear,
out.
I take writing
Absolutely.
lyrics seriously. you know.
But hey, you know what? The thing is,
I just feel like if you don't,
Yeah.
if you think about it too much,
yeah,
and you try too hard,
Yeah.
it becomes just like forced and stale. And like, I don't know, like I feel like if it comes right out of you, it's natural, it's what's supposed
Right.
to be. And,
Right.
and you'll know right away if it works or not.
that's the thing. I mean, you could.
It comes to the top of your head.
Like
right?
there's a lot of stuff I
Totally.
don't use because music's trial and error, right? Like that, everyone knows that. Like there's no such thing as a bad idea or a wrong idea. Either it works or it doesn't. right?
Absolutely.
Like,
And if it doesn't work, it often leads
just
you to the
move
next
on.
thing.
Exactly.
That's just it.
You save it
Yeah.
for something else. Whatever.
Totally. One thing, talking to people who are not musicians or maybe not necessarily artistic, is that like for every song that like a band plays, or if somebody sits with an acoustic guitar and they're like, "Let me play you my new song," they've probably like written 12 songs to get to that point. You know,
Absolutely.
for everything that you perform, there are tons of
Yeah.
ideas and
Oh, for
half-written
sure.
songs that you vet. You
Piece songs
Yeah,
together. from-
exactly. I mean, it's again, it's the same thing with all art, man. Like nobody can comprehend ever how much work has gone in behind the scenes
Absolutely.
for whatever it is.
Yeah, and it's weird because like you don't think of it as work at the time because it's what you're doing and you have to do it. But then you think back, you're like, I literally locked myself in my bedroom for like probably a solid 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
I didn't like after school. It was in my room and that was
Yeah.
it. Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad I put that time in because I wouldn't have the time nowadays to learn to do that. Right. So I'm glad I did it at a young age when I had all the time in the world. Right.
Musicians are so severely underpaid for the work that they put in. It's
Always,
crazy.
always.
Like we jammed like 2-3 times a week.
Yeah,
for
and like
4 hours.
even to this day, like the band I'm in now, we don't jam nearly as much as with the hours we would jam 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to think about. Like, imagine jamming 3 times a week now. Like,
Yeah, and then you know pack everything up and haul it to your venue, and then well, here's some free beer.
Exactly.
Right.
Of course.
Thank you so much for that.
Of course.
Yeah.
When you think about any other
wanna do this for
profession,
a
like
living.
totally. I don't know if you like call a plumber because there's something going on in your house. I mean, like somebody's charging you for the drive out there. There's like a base rate, right? Then they're
Yeah.
charging you hourly because that's their time.
Yeah. Oh, and the truck
And then
costs
the
$200
truck costs
an hour.
exactly. They need to order in this part, so that's their time, and then they got to come back and do a thing. And so if you put a monetary amount, if you look at it that way, like every jam is like some kind of thing you're going to invoice someone. It's like perfect. I'm invoicing like $400 every 3 times a week to somebody, right?
Yeah.
But I appreciate that you said that because, I mean, every year that goes by, it feels like art and music especially is like further devalued. Like nobody wants to pay for anything. Part of it's like a societal shift. So of course, I don't want to seem like old man, like yelling at the sky, like, streaming is bad. I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. But
It's the world we live in now.
it's the world we live in. And, I don't have an answer as to what can happen, but it's a thing that I feel
like DJs have
always
it
be
figured
mentioned.
out. So I'm just
like, I'll take this, plug in the 1/8 inch and
that'll be $1,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
split between one person and no one else. Like, I not to get into specifics, but like a 4-piece band or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got paid like X amount of cash, but then once you split it up, it's like it's not a lot to split between people.
No.
Even then, especially not now.
Yeah, maybe if you're getting paid that every night,
Right.
that's fine.
That's just it.
And
Yep.
that's the thing is getting to where you can tour regularly. Because nowadays you don't make nearly as much off of. Well, there's really no CD sales. Like there's some,
Right.
but
Yep.
it's all your live show, right? Like that's where
Absolutely.
the money is. You got to tour. You got to be
Yep.
a touring band, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the best money we ever made was here. Like our CD release party,
Yeah.
we took home like $3,000.
That's awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
we're like, this is awesome.
Heck yeah.
Then we'd drive to Edmonton and we would make.
And you know what's funny? It was okay. So there was 4
Yep.
members in our band, and they gave us 3 free beers. So someone's not
What?
getting it paid tonight.
Oh my god.
Pretty sure that was Matt.
It was Matt.
That's incredible. That's
Sorry.
incredible.
Yeah.
Like here are 3 beers and somebody's like,
Right?
oh,
I
there's-
mean,
oh, I don't.
I
Oh,
don't even think it was actually beer. It was like
it was kokanee.
it was a card.
It was a card for 3
Oh.
free kokanees.
for a beer, and then
Perfect.
so
I was
we
like,
had to
what?
take the card, and then we had to do more work.
I was like, if you
cash it in. Right?
oh, jeez.
They couldn't even give us the beers. We had
Damn.
coupons. Yeah, it was crazy. But they booked us, and I mean, there was whatever.
Sure.
Crowd.
And we got the gig from just rifling a CD under the door and it like ricocheting in. We're like, did it go in? I think it's in.
Yeah.
You were mentioning this. Okay, tell me about this. When did you do it? Who came up with the idea?
Why
what,
were we
what
in
was the deal?
Edmonton?
Yeah, what were you doing in Edmonton?
To
I don't
throw
know.
We would
things
go
in.
to Edmonton a lot, like
Sure.
just to hang out, party with friends.
Yep.
Yeah, mostly.
Concerts. We went to a lot of concerts.
Go
Right.
see Curtis.
That's
Yeah.
one thing real
Foo
quick.
Fighters.
For anyone who's not from here or doesn't know what's going on, so Grande Prairie is like like a solid 5-hour drive, let's say.
Or
Maybe less if
4.5,
you're driving.
5,
Yeah, exactly.
Depending on how many times you got to pee.
That's right. Depending on who's driving, let's say like a solid 5-hour drive to the next biggest town where any kind of shows and stuff come through. Although nowadays we got a lot of shows here, which is great. But the next big city is Edmonton, which is a solid 5-hour drive. Calgary's what, 8 hours?
8 hours. Yeah.
7.5, 8
7.5.
hours.
And this is driving. Like we're not. This is not like driving through a town and stopping and hanging out. It's like
No.
4 to 8 hours
You
of
go
highway
there
driving.
Straight.
That's it.
Straight shot. Get there.
Absolutely, and that's what we do to do anything, right?
Absolutely.
Like go see. And you're saying like visit Curtis, like visit people,
Yeah.
Yeah,
see
Curtis
shows.
was
I
Graham
think-
McEwen there. Like,
Oh,
and
right.
he still lives there, right? So
Yep.
Yeah,
I
we
would
went
go
down
and
there.
visit him all the time and then find an excuse to go, right?
Yep.
And we
Go
just
see it.
walk
Yep.
White Ave and
Yeah.
just
Hang
like,
out.
I wonder if this place books bands.
Yeah.
Just start chucking CDs under
That's
doors.
amazing.
You think a guy would go in during the day and meet the guy, like
Yep.
the promoters or whoever's in charge of hiring bands, but
It's no fun.
that's not as fun.
Sleeping all day.
Certainly,
Rather sleep.
Partying all night.
of course, absolutely. There've been songs written about that. So
Had to be a Foo Fighters show, I would imagine.
okay. What CD did you toss under doors? Was this
would've
Justin
been our-
recorded thing, Nathaniel
It was
recorded
the one with
thing?
Nathaniel.
Yeah, that would have
Okay.
been our demo. There was three 3 or 5 songs.
There's 5 songs.
5 songs. Yeah.
Cool.
Shot Down, Wishing Well,
Railtown,
Real Town. Yeah.
Ladies, Pushing
Pt.1.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Don't ask. I don't know.
It's all good.
Push in, pull out, tear off.
Sound like good rock song. Yeah. Judging by the titles.
So, yeah. Some people liked it and gave me a call, and I was just like, no way. So we rented a U-Haul and
Awesome.
hauled our asses there and
Yeah.
played a show for free.
Yeah,
That's the
I think we
thing.
did that a couple times actually.
we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys get into playing in
Later life.
Edmonton sort of, and like get like reasonable pay and stuff after that? Like, okay.
No, we never had luck getting paid.
Okay.
No, and it's kind of weird there because they're really big on cover bands.
Yes.
in Edmonton.
Indeed.
Any big city.
Yeah.
It's like if you want the Friday or Saturday gig.
Yep.
Okay, so here's what happened. We went and played this show, and like I said earlier, we'd always incorporate 1 or 2 covers. So naturally, it's a Nirvana song or
Yeah.
like
Well, it's
whatever.
Nirvana.
And I can like not to toot my own horn, but I can cover Nirvana pretty well. Like I
And
do a decent job.
Yeah. Real quick for everyone else, like you're a great singer, by the way. Like you guys, that band and other bands, like you guys were killing it, man. You guys were tight. But
you.
go ahead, please.
Thank you. So the guy came up after the show, and I was like, "So what'd you think?" He's like, "It was really good. Do you guys want to come back and play only Nirvana on a weekend?" I was like, "Oh man,
damn.
well, let me just pick up my
Ouchie.
shattered dreams on the floor." Yeah. So, but
Okay.
I was still pumped. Like, "Oh, you liked the Nirvana, did you?"
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
It's a gig, yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought that too. I was like, I bet you we would have had more
If we would have
success
just been a Nirvana cover band, it's like we
being
would have
like
played.
what's that
Sure.
band?
But that's not why we play music.
Got
It's
it.
not
Well-
the reason. I don't crave to be like, super successful. It's just something we do, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And
It's
if you're
fun playing Nirvana.
Sure.
The Vines.
I love it because the thing I love about,
nice.
and this goes for any cover, is you get to, as a songwriter, you get to put yourself in their shoes and you get
Yeah.
to see how they're crafting the song and how
Yeah.
they portray it and the energy they use. And especially with singing Nirvana, like, the guy was intense and like
Yeah.
singing it, like you just feel it and it puts you in this state where it's like you almost feel like you wrote it, but you didn't,
Yeah,
right? But it's
for sure.
That's what I was always attracted. That's the one thing I was always attracted to with covering
Yeah.
songs. Like 'cause I wouldn't just cover Nirvana, obviously, but like any song. Right? I know tons of songs, but
Yep.
I like putting myself in their shoes and being like,
Definitely.
man, like, that's so clever how they did that. Like, you learn from each. As you learn,
100%.
Billy Talent, I learned
Yeah.
the coolest chords from Billy Talent. Like,
Right?
That guy is.
Oh my gosh.
Ian Disa is insane.
Absolutely.
And like, it was great getting to pick his brain and talk to him. Like when we played with them at the arena, I was
Yes.
backstage talking with him, being like, man, like, how did you write? Just got to sit down with them and like, the guy's a genius.
What an
right?
opportunity, man. That's
Powerful,
amazing.
intense
Oh,
rhythms.
so
Heck yeah.
difficult, and like
Yep.
he's just crushing it and singing the most beautiful harmonies. It's like, how
Right?
is this
That's the
possible?
thing.
Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's always great. It's a good way to learn, if especially if
It
you're
is.
new to it, right? Like
Yep.
that's kind of how you should learn. Is just pick a band you really like, learn some of their tunes, and just kind of go from there, right?
I always tell that your influences bleed through you too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Totally.
It
A
shows
lot of-
big time.
Yep.
a lot of my drumming came from Silverchair.
Right.
It was always very just like hard hitting, punchy.
Which is a fantastic band.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters
I
too.
love
Absolutely. Me too.
Stuff like that. Taylor Hawkins, just a machine.
I mean, just sensational drummer.
Yeah.
What? I mean, talk about a band, where you have like Dave Grohl
about a
and Taylor
group of
Hawkins.
all-stars.
And, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All those
Mr. Shiflett.
Of course. Oh my.
We got to
gosh.
see Chris Shiflett, hey, right before.
Oh, did you see that show?
Yeah,
Oh,
Carl got
that was
us
a
in.
temple, hey?
Yeah.
Oh
so
my
it was sold out,
gosh.
and we were just crushed. We're like, yeah,
Yep.
right. But Carl knew a guy
Yep.
that knew the owner, whatever. So we ended up getting into this sold out show, and it was like a private Chris Shiflett acoustic set. It was like it was epic. Like the guy is really good. He does his own thing. It's
Maybe like 50 people there.
yeah,
it was
super private.
really cool.
And we
Wow.
got to hang out with them and get pictures with them. And I was like, man, so
Yeah.
he looks at it and he's like, well, that's in a good spot. You can still cover it up.
Cover it up.
It was Tyson.
Oh my God. Tyson Boyd.
He runs
Yeah.
the whatchamacallit there.
Starlight.
Starlight
Yeah.
Room. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful venue.
Absolutely.
It's really nice there.
He used to work here.
Tyson used to work here?
Yeah.
No way.
He told me, like forever ago. He used
Okay.
to work. I think he was in the kitchen or
Yep.
something. But yeah, he knew Fred's very well.
Totally.
Knew John, and
Yeah.
it's just like that's crazy. We talked for a good long time, and he showed me the whole thing and told me the whole history about the building and everything.
Yeah.
How it used to be the Salvation Army.
Yep.
And it's just like,
Yeah, that's a cool venue.
What a cool
I'd like to play
spot.
there.
Absolutely. It's a
I remember going there for New
beautiful
Year's.
place. Okay.
They had a funk band on one stage, and they had a metal band on the other stage.
On the upstairs, yeah.
And when they were both done, they just like opened up the big garage door in between them,
Yes.
and they threw on a DJ, and like this guy dressed in a robot costume, like it's intense. Like it's like holy cow, man! And it was packed, like it's tuna can. It was crazy.
That place is fun. Like talking about going to shows. Like I mean, some of the best shows I've seen were at Starlight. Probably.
Oh,
I've
Starlight
seen
is.
everybody from like
Yeah, it's one of my dreams.
Strappy Young Lad to Misery Signals to I don't know. Like I like a lot of metal. So like a lot of
and I
amazing metal.
guarantee you, my brother was at every one of those shows.
Oh, okay, right.
He like
Yep.
like once a month he's like going to some metal band. I don't know much about metal. Like I appreciate it. Like very, very talented to play metal.
Yep.
But he's just like on
That's
it.
his thing,
Like and he's at every show dedicated. Like it's good. I like it.
Cool. Yeah, good spot. Tyson, what a good dude. He got into like the concert management thing after like, and he was one of these people who made like the pilgrimage to go to Germany to go to like the Walk-In Festival over the summer times and stuff like that. And he got really into like working with bands, you know, and he's like, it's not like this is for anyone who doesn't know what, you know, what we're talking about. But Tyson Boyd, owner, operator of the Starlight Room, Temple, which is that upstairs bit that Chris played in.
Yeah.
And then the downstairs, is that called Bricks or something? Or like a River City, I forget what it's called. But the downstairs is like a little, you know, like you can go have brunch downstairs.
It's a
like
little pub in the
it's a
basement.
little
Yeah,
pub.
exactly.
Yeah, really good
They
food.
always
Absolutely.
have,
Really
like,
good.
They
Delicious
had like an
food.
open mic going on there.
Yeah,
last
they had
night.
a mic
cool.
going on the same night as
Okay.
the Chris Shift
Yeah, yeah.
thing, and then everybody kind of shifted over there. Like, it was
That's
really,
awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Amazing. But yeah, good spot. Tyson runs, I think it's called Concert Works, is the booking agency that brings in all these bands. So kudos to Tyson. Thank you. So you guys were playing in a garage. Right. So you guys met in grade 12. Tell me about like musically, how did you guys connect? Was it one of those things where you saw something, that
I
that
immediately
made sense
saw
to you?
something,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Basically, I gave him no choice but to be my drummer.
Right. You're in my band now.
I
I think I hunted him down at a house party.
I was playing in a band called Swelter at the time.
Swelter.
Yeah.
Nice. Who was in Swelter?
Andrew Hawks and
Okay.
Grayson Hughes
Okay.
and Mike Morriso. Do you
Mike-
remember Tree?
I do.
Very talented.
Yeah.
Huge guy.
Right.
Big
Just
hair.
insane
Right.
guitar.
But like the fastest fingers you've ever seen
That's-
on a guitar,
yeah,
and like
yeah.
very classically trained and
Yeah.
jazz trained, and like insane, right? It's like such
Just a
good guitar
beast. Like a.
So we were playing in a battle of the bands at the comp, and his band showed up.
And
And
we didn't go to the con. We were the St. Joe's
Right.
band.
yeah, right. So
yeah.
Very taboo.
Coming into the other school, like, hey.
I want to say that was that the
Christ.
the Axe Music.
Yeah, Axe Music put it on.
Axe Music
Oh,
Battle of the
cool.
Bands, right?
Okay.
So the winner of the
Really
Battle
good
of the Bands.
sound. Really good sound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
They got to go play in Edmonton.
Great.
So the winner got to play in Edmonton. I think we ended up winning that.
His band beat my
Heck
band.
yeah.
but
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
in my defense,
do you
we
think it was
played
like
all
a-
covers.
Yeah, right. Was like the
Probably 'cause
hometown
we had
advantage, do you think? Was that
Well, they
were
were the
biased
popular
against
band
you?
at the comp, so
Come on.
I think we
Where she
rigged,
goes.
we rigged the boat, I think. But,
Exactly.
'cause, yeah,
Exactly.
Andrew Hawks was Mr. Popular at school, right? So he had all of his friends there, and he's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, vote for our band here, like put in like all these ballots.
Of course.
Meanwhile,
Those
I'm
guys
playing-
are from St.
Meanwhile,
Joe's.
I'm
Boo.
playing Where'd You Sleep Last Night by myself.
Oh, got it.
So I can't remember what happened after that, but we went to Edmonton and played at another Battle of the Bands. Where I think we got dead last or something, right? So there was some pretty insane talent there. But
Yeah.
we get to play the big stage at Reds, I think it was called.
At the
Yes.
time, it was Reds.
That was a great place.
It was
Oh,
awesome.
my
It was
gosh.
huge.
What's it called now? Something different.
I don't know.
They changed
It was
the
called,
name.
like,
Palladium.
Palladium?
Reds
Is it
and then
Palladium?
Ed's and then like Ed's Rec Room or Red's
There's
Rec
something
Room. It was
weird
a
now.
bunch of names.
I haven't been to West Ed in so long.
Yeah, me neither,
Oh,
man.
was there anymore?
But it was a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
I can't remember where we hooked up.
It was a house party, some party, I think, because I remember being like, I remember what did it was we were, and at this time, like the drummers were like a revolving
Oh,
I
okay,
jam
okay.
with lots of different. I think
Yep.
even Bevan, I was jamming with. Like I just kind of jam with
Yeah, yeah.
anybody, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
I need a drummer that fits what I'm doing, right? Like.
I think at that time my whole band had pretty much gone to college. I think Tree went to Grant McEwen.
Oh, okay.
Andrew went to university somewhere, and I don't know what Grayson did, but yeah, we kind of, dissolved, right?
Yeah.
So then I met him. You want to play in my band? Yeah, sure.
right, of course.
Give it a go.
Yeah.
See
It
what
was
happens.
actually No One Knows by Queens of the Stone Age. Where I was like, this guy'll do.
That's a great.
Yeah, we covered that at Battle of the Bands. That is
Cool.
a hard song to play.
Which is
Yes,
one of my
it
all-time
is.
favorite songs.
Yeah.
That record too.
The whole record,
That-
Songs for the Deaf, is just oh man,
It's my favorite Queen's
it's a
record.
staple
I mean,
record in my
it's-
absolutely.
Funny thing I found out the other day was the guy from Screaming Trees actually couldn't figure out whose voice that was for the longest time. I always thought it was
Right.
Josh Homme, right? And so I looked it up the one day and I was just like, oh, no way. And then I totally got into the Screaming Trees after that.
Oh, cool.
I just loved his low, raspy.
Yeah, Screaming
Yes.
Trees are good.
raspy voice.
So
Early '90s.
Sick.
That whole crowd of artists like Josh and Mark Lanigan and all those folks, they put out like a series of records called, I think it's like the Desert Sessions or something
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So I wasn't hip to that, but I loved Songs to the Deaf. And then my friend Brandon, knew about, like he was all into Caius, before I knew about Caius, and he was into Queens, and he was into Screaming Trees. And so he, sort of got me hip to the Desert Sessions and the whole thing. And it's just a really interesting, again, there's like a scene going on there, like in terms of vibe and music and artistry. And it all just meshes to make the sound that I don't know if anyone but Josh and like that cast of characters can like create that atmosphere. Like, I don't know, it's so different.
I just started listening to Mini Mansions yesterday.
Okay.
Another one that I figured out from Spotify, right? It's
Right.
like you'd probably like this, and I think they were involved.
Yeah,
I don't
Josh
know if
Homme has
Josh
something to
Homme
do with it.
produced it or
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is though. but
something,
he
but you
has
can
his
hear
hands
it
in
all
somehow.
coming through, right?
Right.
It was like when Josh Homme produced the Arctic Monkeys album. You were just like, yeah, there's that Queen's influence right
Exactly.
there.
Maybe try this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do it my way.
Have you? Yeah.
Sounds good, but play everything in a minor.
That's
Okay,
right.
we're good.
The melody should be this.
Ian Desaad was producing the Lazies album, right? And all you
Really?
hear is Billy Talent.
He wrote half the record.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
So I listen to the Lazies now, and I'm just like, that's
Oh,
Billy
man.
Talent.
That
Tropical
completely
Hazards
makes
is-
sense.
Tropical Hazards is a great album. Like,
Yeah.
it really is. I love that album.
Good for Ian. So you guys, we're now playing together. Talk to me about making music together. Was it like, did it just come naturally, like vibe-wise between the
Yeah.
two of you?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was fun.
We never really had to sit down and be like, okay, where's this song
Oh, okay.
going? What,
Yep.
that wasn't really. It kind of just worked itself out. Like I'd be
Got
like,
it.
hey guys, I got this idea for a song, and then we'd play it, and obviously throughout the song we would stop and be like, okay, well, does that flow or whatever, right? Just kind of hash it out, and
Yep.
it wouldn't be too painful of a
Cool.
process
Okay.
ever.
I think our band was pretty much born in Doug's garage, Matt's dad. After we met, we jammed in Cody's bedroom for the longest time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stinky,
Basement.
hot.
Yeah, at my parents' house. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and
We
again, it
had
goes
it.
back to our parents having the volume cranked.
Yeah.
Good jam, guys. Like
Yeah.
Coronation
Oh.
Street's just max.
Yeah.
Right.
We had Andrew playing bass
That's
for
amazing.
a while, right? Your friend Andrew.
Andrew Temple,
Yeah, he was wicked. He was a
really good guy, really good
Yeah.
dude. He was the first bass player. For,
Okay.
the original one that
Can't
I
remember
had
what
for probably
happened to him,
4
but then he
4 or
quit.
5 years.
Yeah, and then we played at Howler's, and we met Matt Lavignac.
Okay.
And then we moved into his dad's garage, which was a separate garage, detached garage, and
Oh.
like all the way in their backyard.
Yeah.
The
right?
dream, right?
So-
Yeah, and we at that point we
set
had
up in
made
there.
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We just cranked
Oh my
it,
gosh.
right?
Heck
And
yeah.
Doug loved it. We would
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Doug's
that's
a
great.
good
we would
man.
always show up
Yeah.
with like a flat of beer
Yep.
or more.
And it's and it's,
Whatever we can afford at the time.
Sure,
Having
of
said
course.
that,
Yeah.
it was almost our demise because, well, no, like what happened was we would end up having rehearsal, but all of our friends would show up. So
Okay.
and nobody wants to watch a song get written, right?
Right.
Or wrote, whatever.
Yep,
So it's
yep.
like we would stop writing because there'd be all these people and we'd have, not all these people, but like, 10, 15,
Yeah.
20 people is a
turn
lot of people at a rehearsal.
Turned into a garage.
So
band.
it's like,
Totally.
so it's like, well, I guess we just got to play a set, right? Everyone's here. Like, I don't want to write a song in front of everybody. That's just weird and awkward. So we would just play a set, and then it started happening more and more, and we're like, well, man, like we're not writing anything.
That's amazing.
I think eventually we put a stop to it.
Yeah, we
Okay,
did. We're like, hey,
okay.
no more, you guys.
Yeah.
We're getting nowhere.
Right.
Like we're blacking out and we're just playing sets.
If you guys want new music, leave us alone for a sec.
Every almost like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and
Cool.
and then like pretty much we would get hammered and jam,
Yeah.
and then we would like end up at Fred's after.
Yep.
And we would spend unruly amounts of money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we'd be hungover.
Oh, to be 20, right?
Probably missed work.
That's
Then
what
we
you
would
did.
jam
You
again
don't
the
have
next
to
day, and
worry
it was
about
just
anything.
like it was a revolving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, in hindsight, it was fun, but I wish we would have maybe.
Sure.
Doug was,
You know.
Doug was awesome. He would
Yeah.
always come out with a Coors Light in his hand.
Yeah.
He would tell us we suck. And
Just keep you guys real, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
just,
yeah. He kept us grounded and
be like, "What is
motivated us to be like, well, you know, we're nothing till Doug likes us.
Right.
So
What is this crap?"
Yeah.
what are we really doing here?
But no, he gave us a lot of a lot of support. He was
Yep.
really good, and I mean, he
Yeah.
paid the power bill. And
Yeah, for sure.
Right,
And it probably wasn't.
we'd always throw him a beer, and he'd
Yeah.
whatever. We'd
That's cool, man.
haggle, and yeah, it was a blast. I always loved it when he'd come and he'd just be half snapped.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Just having a good time.
you guys suck.
That's right.
You should try writing some country.
A couple F-bombs in there, too.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's incredible.
The funniest guy ever. He just became like a father to us.
Yeah.
Like the father of Spectrum.
Yeah.
We have a fridge still there, actually.
Oh yeah, the Spectrum fridge.
Spectrum
No
fridge.
way.
Yeah. Everybody.
Everyone would sign it. They'd come over, and it's
Oh.
this big fridge that's just like got
That's awesome.
so much stuff on
Yep.
it. And Matt's like, yeah, it's
Yep.
still there, man. I ain't throwing that out. I was like,
Aw.
good.
I think he still has all the he's got a bunch of my cracked symbols on his wall in the
Oh,
garage too.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
Like I think Cody did like a big Spectrum graffiti
Yeah,
on
yeah.
it, and then we all autographed it, and it'd just be like a giant chunk
Oh,
like
yeah.
this out of it from my big oak Neil Peart sticks, like
right.
chunks of symbol flying left, right,
Oh
and
my
center.
gosh. Yep.
I remember how
Do you guys have pictures of that? The fridge and the
we should take
symbols
some-
and.
We almost should
pictures,
take
yeah.
pictures.
I mean, no pressure, but if you guys did, I'd love to like throw them up on the
Yeah.
when this thing airs. You know, like just throw it right up right now,
Shoot
for example.
Doug a text, be like, hey, hook me with a picture of that.
Yeah, it'd be incredible. I mean, I feel like a lot of us who did the band thing, because there are a lot of people who are like singer-songwriters, right? So you can kind of play acoustic and sing anywhere,
Yeah, yeah.
or keyboard and sing anywhere. But I mean, if you have a band, that's like, you know, it like draws in like your entire family and every, you know, because like on some level there's that support that they're like
brothers, right?
all right, you know, like fine, okay, you know, okay, you can all jam
and it's a
here or
different
that kind of
type
thing.
relationship that people that aren't in bands don't really understand fully, because it's like you love them and you're with them all the time, but you know, sometimes you don't agree and you know, whatever, right? You
Yeah.
got to get over yourselves and just look at the big picture. And
Definitely.
that's what it all comes down to, right?
Absolutely.
So, but
That's cool. Yeah, if you know, if the pictures show up, all good. If not, no worries. I think it'll be an amazing snapshot. You know,
the Spectrum fridge, yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
No, so here's the thing about Spectrum. Like I remember the first time I met you, I think it was at Rentco.
Okay, yeah,
It must have been like maybe like I'm assuming I was playing in No One's Alone at the time. We were renting something. I have no idea what the situation was.
Okay.
But I remember talking about it, and you said, you know, my band is called Spectrum.
Yeah.
And so talking now, it seems like you had the concept or the idea for the name and stuff since you were young.
Very. Yeah. Well, I think I came up with the name. I actually remember the day that I. Yeah.
Tell me. Yeah.
So I was in science class.
Yeah.
And I was in. Well, I don't know if it was science class, whatever. I was in grade 7, I think.
Wow.
So whatever it would be
Yep.
then, I don't know if it's science, but we were talking about light spectrums. And like, you know, remember overhead projectors?
Yeah, totally.
They don't have those anymore, but yeah. So so they had the clear thing on the thing, and I just seen the word spectrum on it, and I was like, I just kept writing it everywhere for like a month after that, and I was like, I should just name my band Spectrum, or like it was more like
Cool.
I'm gonna start. Whatever I'm doing is
Yep.
going to be called Spectrum, basically,
I
right?
remember thinking it was kind of like a cheesy Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon ripoff,
Sure, of course.
Right? It was like,
yeah.
just literally the spectrum is on the
Yeah, absolutely.
album cover.
Light as a prism, and there it
Spectrums can be
is.
anything. It's basically just an alignment of anything in a particular order, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Which is what I find fascinating about it, because I remember, again, meeting you, and that was like a definite concept. You know,
Yeah,
like
I had the
some people
idea.
have, they need time to figure out like the name of a band, or if there's a new band, you know, they're like, okay, well, what does this band mean? What is the name? You know, but for you, it's like you had the idea, like you know,
Yeah.
you were like, okay, I'm a songwriter, I am going to play guitar and have a band, and it's going to be called Spectrum, and then like everything like played
I
into
knew
that, which
what
is really cool.
I knew what I needed to piece it together, like
Yeah.
what style of drums and what's,
Yeah.
you know, like all that kind of stuff, right? So
Awesome.
couldn't have done it without these guys, obviously.
Sure.
but-
Yeah. It's again, yeah, of course. I just mean that it's
basically you
fascinating that, right, guys. Until
Big drums
Yeah.
and big guitars.
You owe me $5,
Big bass.
which is basically everything Spectrum's ever.
that's
It's
right.
about our net worth, right?
Yeah.
A case of beer.
Getting real.
Case of
That's
beer is
right.
our net worth.
Exactly. -1. It's like 3
Yeah,
years.
mi-
It's 2
yeah,
beers.
minus one.
I can't believe it. That's
on
incredible.
a side funny note too. So I thought to myself, and I don't know why I thought this, but I was like, you know what? I'm changing how Spectrum's written. I was like, the C seemed corny. I was like,
Okay.
I'm doing a K. So I got a tattoo of it with a K, and I changed it back to a C a month later. And I was like, so now I got this tattoo on my arm and it's spelled wrong.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I don't know why, but yeah.
Well,
You know,
I
it's
remember-
commitment.
Yeah, I was like,
looking
yeah,
up,
it's getting done. I was like, damn it, I'm changing it back.
I remember looking up
Oh my
Spectrum
gosh.
on the internet, like
Yeah.
Spectrum band, and like trying to find our MySpace was ridiculously hard, right? Because there were so many bands or DJs or whatever called Spectrum.
Nah, and that's why I changed the C. I was like, well,
Yeah, and so our MySpace was www.myspace.com/spectrum like
3 M's.
three or four
Right,
M's or
right.
something, right?
Yeah.
Just so that we could get it on there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think our music is still up there.
It is, yeah.
MySpace,
Remember
go figure.
MySpace?
Of course. Jeez.
MySpace, and nobody ever did anything with it. Just kind of left it there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right? So
Essentially, it was the first Facebook.
I looked up
Yeah.
Dumbstruck, and Rocksmith is on there still too, and like all
What's
kinds
Dumbstruck?
That was
Tad
Tad
Heinz.
Heinz band.
That's right.
He
Okay.
filled in for
That's
that
right.
Billy Talent song at Rock City.
Yeah, we played a few shows where
cameoed.
Tad would hop in
Okay.
and sing because he's
Yep.
an incredible singer and
Yeah.
guitar player for that matter, but
Yeah.
had a really good voice. So we would cover. I think we did "Devil on My Shoulder,"
Devil on my
Oh.
shoulder.
and
What a tune.
So high pitched.
we did another one too,
So high pitched.
"Rusted from the Rain."
Cool.
So we did those two songs. We played at Rock City. Who were we playing with?
Dr. Hook.
Dr. Hook.
Cool.
We opened for
Okay.
Dr. Hook, and
Yep.
yeah, that was an interesting show.
Dr.
First off, he's a savage alcoholic.
He had.
Fair enough.
I remember he
Yeah.
had like 8
Like,
monitors.
I believe you.
Like, and then I'm only saying this because like
Right.
whatever, right? Like, you know,
of course.
But
He was old. He sat the whole time, and he had like 8 monitors.
Yep.
He sat in a circle of monitors, right?
Yep.
So Cody's sitting in this.
yeah, and I'm young at the time, so like my
Yeah.
ears aren't shot
I was
yet.
like,
Like they're kind of getting there now, but they're
Sure.
not yet.
I
They're
guess
fresh.
You
Yeah.
don't have to complain about not being able to hear anything.
Literally, my ears felt like they were bleeding. Like,
Oh my gosh.
because I was
Yeah.
standing there, and there's literally, like, I don't know, like 6 monitors.
It was
my
like 6
gosh.
or 8.
6
it was
or
literally
8.
just like
I was
however many you could
surrounded
fit
by
in a
monitors,
circle.
and I'm
Yep.
just like, and I couldn't move. I was like, once
Yeah.
you're in the
Right.
you're in the
That's
monitor
it.
pit.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere, right?
That's Dr.
So I was like,
Hook's
so in
Yeah.
sound check, I was just like, oh my god, can we turn this down? So
Yeah.
like they turned it,
Okay,
down
okay.
as much as
Right,
they could, but
right.
you're still around 8 monitors, so it's
That's
still,
a lot of level.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
I remember
Was, it was hard. It was a hard gig.
That's incredible.
After
man.
that show, I can't remember
Oh,
what they
gosh.
offered us to play.
Yep.
But I don't know, it was like $400 or $500 or something,
Hmm.
and we kept having to try and find the manager to pay us. And so
Oh,
he kept being
no.
like, "Yeah, let me go grab your money," and then he would disappear, and we'd be hanging out,
course.
and like
That's
we're all loaded
classic
up, and we're,
music
we're
scenario.
getting hammered or whatever, and
yeah.
finally we're just like, "Matt, go find this guy." So I think Matt like finally pinned him down in his office and was just like, "Give us our money,"
Yeah.
and like he's like, "Okay," like,
Oh my gosh.
what a loser.
And that's
that
the
guy's listening.
thing.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to withhold band money. You know, again, I go back to just like some kind of other example. Like if you hire someone to do some welding for you,
Yeah, you
then
don't
they
screw
finish
them
and they're
around,
packing
right?
up and they're about to drive the truck, where you're like,
Yeah.
I'll be right back. And
Yeah, and
wait,
just peel out.
What the heck?
Later.
Do you know how much?
Not how it works.
How much work we put into this
And
show?
that's-
Yeah,
That's part of it all, right? I mean,
that's part of music.
part of music, man.
When we're on
It was
tour
fun.
out east
was still
with
fun.
Calculating
I would've done it
Collapse,
for
the same
free.
thing happened. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The show was amazing, but
Yeah.
afterwards we're like, oh, that was so great. Basking in the glow. We're like, all right, let's find some. Let's get paid. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the manager's
We
gone
do
home for
need
the
to
night.
put gas in our tank. For the
Exactly.
next show.
We need to drive. And it.
Eventually, you just feel like robbing the till. Just
Yeah.
like you push the bartender out of the way and just.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm taking this.
That's right. The,
Yeah.
the manager will pay you back
Yeah.
because you know
I,
that's
I
yeah.
earned this money.
Oh my gosh, it's insane. Some things never change, right? Like, why is that? Why is that a
And
thing?
remember
Why
when
is
I
that
walked
okay?
into the wrong dressing room, but going back
Oh,
to
yeah.
the Dr. Hook show?
Yeah.
And the He freaked out on me.
Oh,
Like threw a bottle, a Jack Daniels bottle. It was a whole scene.
well, that's pretty
And I was like,
intense.
sorry.
Freaking out is one thing, but how? Describe
hit
what
me,
happened.
that would've-
That's what I was gonna say,
Like,
man.
that would have effed me up, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it was pretty cool. I dodged it, and I was just like, "You're still my hero, bro." Said
You almost
no one
killed me,
ever.
but sure, man. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. What did he say to you? Was
Get
it just
out.
like a surprise thing? We're like, get out of
He
here.
said, get out, yeah, get out. And he's Dr. Hook, so he has that accent. Yeah, get out of here. It's like a pirate kind of thing going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, see? Get out of my dressing room, see?
That's right. Who moonlights as a 1930s gangster? Get out of here, now.
Or they pooched.
I could go grab a couple.
Sure.
Just want to refill.
Do you want to take like a 2-minute break?
Yeah, we need
I
to
can like cut to like some kind
refill
of
our Spectrum juice here.
spectrum juice.
Refuel.
That's right.
And we can
It's
get
full
into
of,
talking
electrolytes.
about all of our fun times on the road.
Yeah.
Hey, absolutely. If you guys want, I'm happy to get into
I mean, if
everything.
we're chatting, I can go grab some.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.